Well, I don't know. Any general thoughts on that day?
Well, I thought it was somewhat typical of a day 3. A lot of information has been put on our guys in 3 days of installation, and obviously the young guys felt it somewhat mentally. I thought the young guys might have felt it a little physically, that just a little wear and tear in the legs and whatnot. So I appreciated the intensity, the enthusiasm. I thought we practiced hard, but there was probably more mental mistakes in this practice than we had in the previous 2, but that's somewhat normal.
A little bit of overload then?
I don't want to ever call it overload. I just think that's natural in training camp. Day 1, you feel good about it. Day 2, okay, there's this amount of plays. Day 3 is, there's the emphasis on the fringe and the red zone, and things get a little tighter. There's some more installation on both sides of the ball. But so some of that's natural, but we'll continue to build, and they'll respond. They'll be okay.
As far as Jory Ferguson and Chris Polk, have they taken on a leadership role at the running back position? They're kind of the upperclassmen, right?
I think Chris definitely. I've been extremely impressed with Chris really since the day I've gotten here. He's responded beautifully, and I think the confidence that he has coming out of last season, the off-season conditioning program, he's become a better student, and in turn he's become a little more vocal, especially on the field with the younger guys, because he understands the system now. He's not swimming quite as much. He knows what to look for. He's watching the plays and can see what's coming, and he's offering great advice to the young guys, and that's very important.
Realize it's really early, but of those 7 offensive linemen, anybody kind of step to the fore at all, or the freshman guys?
Well, today was the first day in shoulder pads, and so I'll have to look at the film to see how physical they all were, but I think from a knowledge-based standpoint, Kohler's done some nice things at left tackle. Porter is doing some really nice things. He's playing center and guard now, which is not always easy to do when you're bouncing back and forth, but I think all of them are very tough-minded kids. They haven't backed down from anything. They're working hard. They're going against a very good, not only young defensive linemen, but also the veteran kids, especially on the inside. When you start throwing around Alameda and Cameron and Samisi, those guys are all good football players. So all in all, I think the group is coming along fine, but if I had to point out 2 guys right now, it'd be Porter and Kohler.
It looked like Hartfixon actually had a pretty good practice today.
Yeah, he did. I've been very, very pleased with Michael. He's again a tough-minded kid. It's not easy. The tight end position is one of the more difficult positions within our system to learn, because you got to get the run game stuff wired in right, and you got to get the pass game stuff wired in right, and we don't sit in one formation all the time. So, but he's tough-minded. He's working at it, and I was happy for him today. He caught some balls down the field, made some plays.
Is Alameda as impressive as he looks at times out there? Because he just looks like unstoppable.
No, there's some times in the run game where he just kind of kills the run on his own, and we saw that today. He's extremely powerful, as we all know, but I think now what's happened for him is he's become much more explosive. When the ball gets snapped, his ability to snap off the football, his get off, and then the power that he has, and then the quickness to adjust when he needs to. He's a dominant player right now.
Hey, Coach, we're doing a feature on Rocky Soto.
Okay.
You worked with him at
yes.
UFC. Can you just